Be ready to change yourself. Be ready to challenge your better self. Know that your mind can develop a passionate winning spirit, but not by yourself. We guarantee your family in love with your life, and you're gonna love all the grind. Lewis and Bars together, we develop your mindset with vitamin C for your mind. Don't you settle with what you know. There's much to learn, there's much to earn. Tell yourself I'm ready to fight, ready to be heard. Out of success and awakening rise. There's so many words that turn into prices. Be ready to change for the best. Step up and be great. Don't be like the rest. Develop your mindset.
Hi everyone, this is Develop Your Mindset podcast. We're gonna talk about today about future goals and targets. We're gonna go a little bit deep, dive into it. Hopefully you guys can learn a few things here, and we'll look forward to hearing from you guys, either commenting or leaving your 2 cents. So we're gonna start talking about future goals and targets, which is today's topic we chose because we all go through a lot of thinking about our future. We always think about what we want to do, how we want to do it, what it takes, how it takes. So we're going to talk about all this stuff today. This is Luis. We work together. We understand about this. We always have these kind of conversations, and we thought we'll have live conversation in front of you guys, so you get something out of this that it will help you to make you realize or put a new target for you, financial and independence and your family life, all kinds of stuff that you guys thinking about. And we believe in targets. We put a lot of targets for us. We put time target. Sometimes we remove the time from the target, depending on what kind of target we're looking at, right? So the future is always full of targets, and we always focus on those, and those are very, very crucial, important for us. So we're going to talk about a few of those things. Hopefully you guys will listen and get something out of it for you. And so let's kind of start from somewhere. Like let's talk about ourselves a little bit, and then we talk about some business, some goals that we're working on.
Yeah.
So future goals.
Yes.
You started with me not long ago, I'm sure you've changed some of your goals, some of your your future target.
Yeah.
And before we start together, where were your thoughts? How far, how deep you used to believe and think about your future, targets? Just talk about it so people can kind of hear, and I'll continue.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for having me back.
Yeah.
Back at the Develop Your Mindset podcast. So before I started working here, I mean, I was already into motivation and inspiration, and I would be looking through that content already. But there was a part of me that still didn't believe that I could really, make it big. My goals were kind of small. One of my goals that I had was just to start a small little YouTube channel and do something like this. Just put out some information out there, put out some motivational videos here and there, but nothing big. It was just going to be a little side thing that I was going to have. And so that's pretty much where I was before I started working here.
So what was it that made you think about doing that? What was so appealing about that, and what did you think you had something to offer, or you just wanted, while you're doing it, you wanted to learn more about yourself, about what goes on? What was the motivation back then?
Well, I mean, before I even started seeking motivation, I was in a place that was it was just dark. I was depressed. I didn't really have a path to pursue. I didn't really have any goals. I didn't really believe that I could be successful in any way. I would start certain things, you know, projects and little things that I wanted to do here and there, but they would always fall off just because of the difficulty. You know, once I reached an obstacle, I would just completely just quit and just move on to the next thing. I would tell myself like, oh, this isn't for me. Like what was I thinking? You know, dreaming so big. So I knew what it's like to be there. And then once I started seeking all this knowledge and motivation, you know, I started to see that, oh, you know what, I could actually, you know, improve myself, work on myself, and, you know, eventually reach the success and pursue the things that I really wanted to pursue. So once I came out of that, I was in a much better place. And then I kind of felt like I had this gift in me that to be energetic, to always be happy. And I wanted to be able to teach that to other people because I know what it's like to be in that place of just darkness and depression. So I wanted to help people to come out of that and be themselves and actually put out who they really are out to the world. So that was my motivation to really start that YouTube channel, just because I wanted to, you know, share that with the world.
That's very very good what you just said. I think it will help a lot of the younger people, especially because they have a lot of ambitions, but they don't know what it takes. Those ambitions to like really make it solidified, you know, like and make it happen for you. Basically, what it is like you know, someone should have self-control so they can go after their goals, right? And that's very important what you just said, because a lot of the younger people, they lack that little bit. They need to really learn how to self-control, also learn how to you know, go after something, not get too complacent, not relax. You know, it takes a lot to make something go, to find out if that thing's really going to work for you or not. So that's very important to stay at it, stay focused for a long duration. And when you get there, when you're really tired, you should slow down and then pick up again. Don't stop, because a lot of the times the next round, when you get into something like that, it will help you. Previously, whatever you were doing, you start seeing yourself what was what wasn't working for you, and what it's gonna take to like work for you. Also, you have to seek some help, like education, you know, like reading books about it and learning, and go find mentors where they can make the process faster for you. Like you have someone to ask, you know, certain things that you're not familiar with, and you know, you can't just do it by yourself. So
definitely.
Mentors are very important. Also, education is very important. Also, determination and mindset is very important. That's why our podcast is called Develop Your Mindset, because this is all everything it takes to do something like whole, like really well, you know. So so okay, that's that. Targets. So there are a bunch of targets in the future, right? And then it can't be only one target. It could be one target, large, big target. It should have a bunch of small targets in it, because it takes something. It takes a lot of people, or a lot of knowledge, a lot of equipment, a lot of different components to make something work. And then until you get to the big target, you're probably gonna go through a bunch of small targets to get to there. And this is gotta be like written down, or like in your mind, or have your mentors helping you out with this. You do it too. I see you do it, and like if you can share your age group people, like what it takes for you, and then maybe they can get something out of this, like really help them out.
Like what it takes to establish targets, or
how do you organize yourself towards of your long-term big target, and you know, what it takes to achieve smaller ones to go to your bigger vision.
If I'm talking to my age group here, which will be like in the 20s. Now, being in your 20s, this is kind of a hard thing to do, just because you're young. You have all this energy, you have all these possibilities, so it's not as easy to just commit to one specific goal or to commit to a specific path, just because you have all these options, you have all this energy. You can start one thing, and to some degree, I think that's normal. That's okay. I think you should actually find what it is that you are passionate for. What are you willing to die for? And like, what are you like really willing to fail for? Because any path that you take, anything that you commit to, eventually you're gonna reach a point where you're gonna fail. So,
oh my God.
So you really have to come into terms with that fact that you're gonna fail at some point. So the real question is like, what are you willing to fail at some point, and then really pick yourself back up and really keep going at it, no matter what.
To really succeed in something, there is a bigger version. It's a bigger than you and me and everybody else,
Yes.
And so like, how do you handle yourself when you find yourself succeeding in like a bunch of things?
Well, I think it's okay to celebrate every target that you hit to some degree. You shouldn't, obviously, don't stay complacent, don't just stop there. But to some degree, I feel like you should congratulate yourself for reaching a target, just because a target is a target, no matter if it's small or big. There are targets that you're setting for yourself, you're committing to it, you're putting in the hard work, and eventually, you reach the target and you hit it. And I think that you should have some sort of celebration for that. But yeah, you should
yeah. Well,
the thing is that I feel like it is important to set the small ones and the big ones, just so that you're aware that there's bigger targets to reach from the beginning. You don't just set the small ones, and then, because then if you just set the small ones and you hit those, then you're kind of lost, like, as to where are we going next. So I think it's helpful that you establish your small targets and your big targets at once. That way you have the small ones to hit, and you still have that bigger vision to go after. So
nice.
Yeah.
So we're talking about develop your mindset. So I want to put this out for you and me, so we can talk about future goals. Like, we have so many goals, right? And then we work really hard towards it. I do my thing, you do your thing, and then you do a lot of educational courses. I do a lot of development and ideas. And sometimes the big goal, we know where it is, and then we kind of like put a lot of hours that we're not really producing any income or anything, but we're willing and to really put those hours, whether it's a work hours or off work hours, to like really get to that, help us to get closer to the target. And sometimes it gets really frustrating, because you're like, I'm not producing. You feel a little bit down about it, and you feel like you're.
I mean, honestly,
but like the education and the process of it, eventually we use it to push even further to the closer to the target, right? And so people need a lot of younger people don't understand that you have to invest a lot of your time, your own time, to develop yourself, your mind, to help yourself to go further, closer to your target. And then each time you go further, there's always a wall you hit, right? And then you have to start asking yourself, or asking help others to help you, kind of like show you what's next. Like what is it going to take to go to the next target, to go even closer to the bigger target.
I got something to say about that.
Go ahead.
When you're young, I'm young. So something that tends to happen is that most of us tend to live for the moment, as opposed to living for 10, 20 years ahead. So for me, what happened is that I did go through that stage where I was kind of living for the moment. I was just, taking whatever I can, pleasure here, pleasure there. Instant gratification was just at the top of my mind. Like I was just pursuing what's the next thing, what's the next cool thing that I can do, what's the next cool thing that I can do, I wasn't really focusing on like the future. It was just more for the moment, I literally was living as though I was gonna, like this was the last day, like I was just gonna die today, so like, and this is a very bad mindset to be in if you want to get successful, because that's just not how it works. Like right now my goal is just like Grant Cardone says, actually my end goal is freedom. Like
nice.
That's what I want. I want to have freedom. I want to have that freedom to do, because deep down I myself, like my core motivation is to experience a lot of things. Like I want adventure, I want to experience different things, but I can't do that because I can't, like financially I can't afford it. So like that's like one of my goals here. So that's why I want the freedom to be able to travel,
right,
and to be able to do those things.
Yeah, a lot of people do traveling, but I know what you're saying, but there's two different ways of traveling. One is traveling to make business and also meet all these people while you're doing it, and like see places and learn new industries, new things.
Yeah.
Other way is like getting on a journey and just traveling, maybe not too far, but like constantly during the journey and traveling. I don't see that appealing for myself. What I see appealing is traveling, going to business, and going to doing a course, to conferences, to like last week was I went and listened to I went a course and listened to President Bush, Kobe. Yeah. So one other thing was Patrick Bet-David. And it was amazing. I enjoyed my hell out of myself. I learned so much just by listening to those guys. The way they explain their stories and their experiences was incredible. I highly recommend you guys insert yourself in that kind of environment and hear different way of explaining something, especially their experiences. When you hear it, you eventually, in your mind's eye, you put yourself in that shoe, in their shoe, and then kind of see yourself before you get there. See yourself in that place, and then that will help you. They will kind of like set up a target for you to kind of like look at it, see it, and then work at it, and then you kind of understand that now I'm not capable of having that kind of words and way of explaining and experiences, but you start setting yourself towards that kind of experiences, what it takes to have that kind of experiences. What kind of job you need, what kind of people around you. After all, we know 5 average people around you, you become the average of them. So you start seeking for that kind of people to have that kind of conversations, that kind of experiences. So your vocabulary will start changing, your mindset will start changing, your mind eye will start changing, your dreams, your environment, the places you hang around with, wherever you hang around, everything will start changing. And the money is the byproduct of your mindset, your actions, your goals, right? Totally. And then this is why we're talking about mindset. You have to have mindset of higher level, like wherever you are for you. Everyone's higher level is a different one. Totally. You always have to push yourself towards the higher version of yourself. Becoming better version of you. So that was amazing. I went there. I learned so much. I came back. I have a little bit of refreshed and rejuvenated mindset of like how I'm thinking, what I'm doing, how I see things. That is amazing. So that's one thing you guys have to do for yourselves. That will help tremendously. So targets, You know, that was one of the targets that I went and did. Came back. I setting up for myself smaller versions of targets where it's going to help me to propel me towards of my big target. You know, which is my big target is I don't see me over there. I see a group of people, right? And who are those group of people? So many times, this last 2 weeks, you know, we hired 2 people, and we didn't even let them go. They kind of let them go themselves because of the expectations that we put on them, and they could not perform. And I hope you're this other side of this example. But if that happens to you, don't feel don't feel discouraged. Don't feel disappointed. Those feelings not going to serve you towards of your long target. I'm sure that happened to you. It happened to me also. But I became so focused, like a laser beam focused on learning what I failed on, and that was 25 years ago. So many of those targets, you know, like, so laser beam focus is crucial, important for mindset, because you have to deploy that whenever you're trying to achieve something that you were not good at and you got embarrassed, you had to remove yourself from that environment. You need to feel relaxed, calm, go after what that was that you were not good at, and study, learn, read stuff, watch videos. YouTube is there for us to use it. Google is there for us to use it. Books are there. There's mentors. People are looking for people to teach. You guys have to understand, you're not only looking for someone to teach you, also there are people looking for people to teach. And you know, the term when the student is ready, the teacher is ready. It's as true as the other side. The teacher is ready, but there's no student for him to teach. You know, and seek for it. Ask for help. It's okay. You know, like it's there. I'm sure you had experiences in this manner. Like you probably in the beginning, before you you went some places, you wanted to, you thought you could do it, but you weren't up to the task. You know, like,
definitely.
How did it go for you? What kind of experiences you've had?
I was actually like on the other side of the spectrum. Actually, I'm honest. I actually, every time I would approach something, I would always think that I wasn't up for it. I would never be like, oh, like I got this. I would be more like I would be like, I don't think I can really do this, but if I could, you know, it would just be like something lucky. Like I think I could probably get lucky enough and actually get this done, you know. So yeah, I was more like on the opposite side, where I would go in with this like attitude that was just down and like.
Ouch.
But like, funny enough, I mean, there was times where I would succeed. There was times where I didn't. The times where I didn't, it wouldn't really affect me, because right from the start, I would kind of have this mindset that I don't think I could do this, so I couldn't do it. So it kind of like reinforced my mindset, like, oh, you know, I said I couldn't do it, and I couldn't do it. So that's what it was, you know. And but then after I started seeing it from a more realistic point of view, which was like a skill to, like I see it from a skill perspective now. So if I'm gonna try something new, I approach it from a realistic standpoint. Sure, I'm confident, I go in positive, but if it doesn't happen, if I do fail, I'm okay with that, just because I know because this is something new. This is something that, you know, that I've never tried before, so it's sort of expected realistically that it's not gonna go well. So that's how I keep myself really going, because I know I'm realistic about my skill level. I'm not like egoistic to the point where I'm like, oh, you know, I got this, like no problem. like I'm not. I don't blame like whatever it is, whatever the task is, whatever the thing is. You know, I'm not blaming that. I take the responsibility. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not up for it. My skill level isn't there. Okay, so I have to like educate myself now. So I would seek education. I would look through YouTube videos, like you said, seek a mentor, and stuff like that. You know, to get my skill level higher to the point where I'm the one who's like up for the challenge. You know, I'm not asking for whatever the task is to be easier. I don't want it to be easier. I want to be more capable, more competent enough to be able to take on that challenge, whatever that task is.
That what you just said could be a podcast by itself.
So
There's so much to talk about there.
Yeah. So never focus on trying to for the other thing to just get easier. You know, focus on yourself to get better, to be able to be more
totally.
competent.
I know you just was touched on some of those things that I'm gonna ask us to you know, elaborate on, which is failure. A lot of people are really afraid of failing. You know, they feel betrayed, disappointed. You know, they feel like they're not worth anything. You know, they feel like the whole world is collapsing all around them. You know, failing is a very negative, you know, like perspective and feeling, right? So, but we learn failing is you're getting closer to your goals, to your achievements, right? So we take it a little bit differently. We actually invite the failing really quickly. If we're gonna fail, let's fail quickly, right now. Let's learn, not so we don't drag ourselves to like way out there and then fail. We're like, oh my God, what were we thinking, right? We saw it way back there. This wasn't gonna work. We kept on doing, and now we understand it's not gonna work, which we call it failure. If you get on to doing something and you're not succeeding, when you see that it's going to fail fast, fail forward, and fail quickly, and then get off, dust yourself. Okay, what caused failure? Which education was missing here? Which mentor was missing here? Which product was missing here? Is this product ever going to work? Is this program ever going to work for my achieving to my bigger vision goal, right?
Definitely.
So be okay with failures. Be content. And when you fail, get happy. Don't get sad. Like it's not going to help you. Negativity is way out of question here. This is like, be excited that, okay, I learned that, I found out that this is not going to work, and this is what it's going to take today or for tomorrow to succeed, right? And seek whatever you need to seek, and then find ways to go and just help yourself to you know, achieve that target, so you can move on. You know, break sort of saying like break that wall. You know, the wall is keeping you from going forward. So, failure is a big component of our successes here in the office, and we really welcome it. So,
to add to that, I mean, because it is something that a lot of people struggle with, but I can see why. It's really when you're going to pursue something, when you're going to pursue a path that's eventually going to lead to success, or at least you want it to lead to success. I feel like your reason to get to success is what's causing you to hate failure. Because there's people who pursue success to be happy. They feel like success is it's going to change their lives, and it will, but not in the way that they think it is. So like they pursue success, let's say to like never feel sad anymore. Like they feel like that success is going to bring them happiness along with that. So the thing is that when they pursue this path, they want to get that success because they want to feel happy. They want to remove all these negative emotions. And the thing is that when you fail, you know, that failure is yours. The way you interpret it is that you interpret it as like, oh my God, like I'm never gonna reach happiness.
I know.
Because, oh my God, I'm failing. I'm not hitting my target. I'm not getting towards my goal. The success will never come. And if the success doesn't come, then I won't be happy, and I'm gonna feel
I'm not good enough.
I'm gonna continue feeling negative, feeling like I'm not good enough, and all these negative emotions. So when you pursue success from a different standpoint, from a different mindset, from a mindset of what it is, it's success. Like I want to accomplish this because I want to help people, or like I want to, whatever it is. That's independent from happiness. I think we could probably discuss this, you know, the difference between success and happiness. We could probably go into that.
Right, success and happiness. Success is, you know, like for everyone it's different. Success has a lot of versions. You know, some people trying to go to another space, to another state, to another country, to another different car, different, like to get married, to start a company, to achieve, to become photographer, to become engineer.
Yes.
I became jeweler. That was my success, which I'm very successful.
Yeah, if you just heard all those things, like these things, like there's education for these things, you know?
Right.
So like
where you start, or where this thing is.
There's a series,
hundreds of thousands, or
steps.
maybe millions of things you have to learn.
So see it from a
learn and unlearn.
Yeah.
You know, like to really find a bunch of successes to get to this big success, right? And disappointments. And like how we talked about failure. There's going to be so many failures to get to that level. I've experienced some really nasty downfalls, and you know, there was a time I thought I was, you know, screw this, like, I'm gonna go do something else. Like, next morning I wake up, my something comes over me. I'm like, wait a minute, no, I'm gonna go fight. I'm gonna make this work. I don't care what this person did to me or how this didn't work. Then we go do this, and then I would just immerse myself. Is that the right word? Immerse. Immerse myself into. You know, like figure this out. What is it? How I'm gonna achieve? You know? That's how like my personality is. Like I don't know how to give up, and I refuse to fail. So it doesn't affect me that much of the failures. And you know, like okay, I understand now. Let me move on. Let me 5 hours later, I'm just like going at it again. You know. So how do you do it? Like when you fail, like you're, you know, what are you working like to become something good at something? Like, you know, how we start talking about this.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't really fight the emotion that comes up as you fail, because when you fail, obviously, you know, I'm not gonna say that like. You fail, like put a smile, you know, like I mean, on the moment you do feel bad, and you get a little sad,
defeated,
a little defeated, and I think that's normal, you know, just you know, deal with that, you know, let those emotions run their course, but then see it from a realistic standpoint, you know, because when you start getting mad and frustrated, you know, that's you looking at the situation from an emotional level, and like we said, you know, you can't go from like we said, there's a series of logical steps to get to your end goal, not emotional ones. You're not going to get there with emotion just by feeling like good all the time, you know. There's like we said, you know, there's times where you're not going to feel good, and you still have to but if you continue to do those logical steps, you're going to get there, whether you're like feeling like crap, you know.
You just reminded me of something. I got a goosebumps because of it. So like we're talking, you know, the mindset and you know, like earlier we were talking about smaller, shorter goals to achieve to go to your big goal, right?
Yeah.
And so pretty much what we're talking here is one of the small goals, right? It's gonna take probably for you 7 to 17 things, or who knows how many things to get to your big goal. So you have to have a bunch of skill sets, also bunch of knowledge about understanding about stuff to like be able to start working on your big goal. So like and it takes a lot of time to do all that, right? To learn something, it might take you for 5 years. And then if you're gonna learn 10 things, that's like 25 years. So for 25 years, you're gonna only learn your skills, and then you're gonna have chance to work on your big goal. Yeah. So here, the lesson is have the big goal from beginning, and a lot of times. We talked about mentors, we talked about like reading books and everything. So a lot of times what happens is you learn one skill, and then you have the big vision, and then you have to find friends, family, partners that they have the same vision, the same mindset, the same goal, and then it's easier to work with those individuals. And what happens is like they come in with different sets of skills, right? Yeah. So now there's more skill on the table to work towards that big goal, and then you start working, you start having some better, more success and everything. Yeah. And eventually you find other people to bring them in, to hire them or bring them as a partner, whatever you have to do to bring all these talents, which are the time that we're talking about, those targets that they accomplish, they bring on the table to help to get closer to that bigger vision, because everyone's the vision in their mind is the same target, and it works that way. It has to work because the target is this big thing where everyone's after. So there are different ways of doing this, but if you wanna become the captain, you have to know all this, right? Yeah. Just because you found those people and helping you to go to your big target doesn't mean you're gonna slow down from learning, educating yourself. You cannot only work for the money. You have to take break and put time for education. Yeah. You have to be a hard worker, go after it. No matter how many hours extra you're putting a day, no matter how many hours you're sleeping less, whatever it's gonna take, you're gonna do it, And how did you think when you first started here? Like how you used to see this, like the target, the people that work together, the bigger towards of the big target, like your mindset, where it was, and how did you see it?
Well, definitely when I started working here, my mindset just exploded. It got like way bigger, because I started thanks to Varoj here. He introduced me to quite a number of people who I didn't know that were teaching not only personal growth but also business. And from a business perspective, I feel like I really developed the foundation working here as learning business, because before I started working here, I had this interpretation of business, the common things, like money's bad, and like the rich people are bad, and all these I used to have all these mindsets about money. So then that itself was like stopping me from like actually pursuing.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Why did you think the money was like, how the myth is in the society, money is evil. Yeah. Money grows on trees. And
actually I had these mindsets. They were just passed on from my family and from people that were around me. But I never really had any proof or evidence that was actually true until I started working here, that I actually started studying this stuff, and then I figured out like, oh wait, that's I've been thinking all this whole time, and now that that I'm looking at the professionals and stuff, now I was like, oh, that's
There's a hope.
yeah,
There's a way.
Like money isn't bad at all. It's
What do you do with it?
contrary.
Money
we're talking about
doesn't
money.
represent success.
Yeah, it
Money
doesn't
represents freedom, and doesn't solve most of your problems. Doesn't make you happy.
So
Yes, you can get happy a bunch of other ways, but also money will
really
make
see-
you happy because you bought your your
I really see it like.
your stress, your like.
I really see it like as an asset. Like money is really like a tool that you can use
Totally,
to
totally.
educate yourself. You can use it to buy yourself time and resources, access to certain things.
Yes.
Money can provide all that for you.
Yeah, you run out of money, you run out of resources.
Yeah.
Because you cannot hire those resources now, and that's the.
It can increase your educational level too, and it can open doors for you too to meet
Yes.
people who can really help you out to even get to whatever your end goal is. Because remember,
So-
you're not, like he said, you can't get there by yourself. You need
No, you can't.
people to help you along the way. So
Yes, money is essential for your success, for your goals, and you have to learn how to make more of it. Don't hoard it, don't keep it. You have to invest it towards your goals, and just don't be like your hands is too close. You have to let it go. Go after bringing more money. You have to learn how to bring more. And that's a learning behavior. As long as you believe in yourself, you're gonna go. You're gonna do whatever it takes to bring it. And
I think it really matters too, like who you are as a person, like to the core. Like who's the one who said this, that like more money will just make more of you. Like, so if you're a good person, more money will just make you.
Oh yeah, a bunch of people talk about that also because money makes you amplified, right?
Yeah,
if you're a
it
bad
amplifies,
person,
exactly,
you're gonna do bad things with money. If you're a good person, you're gonna do good things with money. Look around you. You see, this world is full of it. And. People are building countries, others are destroying it. So, depending what kind of person you are, you become amplified, a version of you. Yeah.
So everybody out there who thinks money is bad, then
it's not. It's you.
You're thinking you're bad. You're the bad person.
It's you. Like what do you do with the money?
Exactly.
Right? Totally. So I think we talked a lot about. Future goals and targets. It's important to have because that's gonna make you go sleep and wake up and have something to do. We're in Los Angeles downtown, right? And we have a lot of people that don't have homes. They live downstairs, and so many times when I'm walking, I look in their eyes straight. And I see this blank eye, just like they have nothing to look forward to. They have this. It's not even sadness. It's not even confusion. It's just there's no future target, and then just blank. Like they're just sitting there frozen and looking at this and the clock is ticking. Click.
Yeah,
click,
it's kind of these people
click.
that just.
And that could be for that day. It could be your life clock. It could be you were born to make a difference in this world.
Exactly.
And you're the only person you can make that difference in the world. And you kind of chose to sit on the sidewalk and just stare at the wall and not take action.
Yeah.
Not get up and do it. Not wanting to learn, find people, like start something, have a big goal, target, and just go after it. I just look and like this crosses my mind just like really quickly. I'm like, oh my gosh, like look at that. That person is gonna take his ambitions, his goals, his everything to his grave.
Exactly.
He's not acting on it. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it's like, oh my God, I'm like, my time is, I'm running out of runway, out of time, and those guys are sitting on the runway,
It's like
just getting like, like slided by, sliding by, just like, I don't know. I think as a human, we're here for a reason.
yeah,
There is a purpose
Yeah.
for us. Find your purpose,
exactly.
go after it, learn,
Mm-hmm.
aim the target, go after your target, build bunch of small targets,
Yeah.
achieve them all, find help to make those targets faster, get to your big target, and make the difference in this world. You were born for it, we were all born for it, and we are
Nice.
the dominant species in this planet, and
Nice.
we make the difference. We can make difference in this planet if we put our minds into the positive, into the right mindset. So we are born for it.
Yeah.
You have to find your purpose. I did find my purpose, and I stick to it, and I go after it. I won't change it for anything. So this is how I see it, man. I see all those guys
Yeah.
sitting down there, women and people, and
Yeah.
it's like,
I guess
how do you interpret when you sometimes you walk home? Like, how do you interpret?
Yeah.
You see these guys a lot, and like, what's going on?
just remember though, like what Billie Jean said, like
Yeah.
like these people are like, to some degree, I feel like they are greedy, because they're
Oh, yeah.
everybody's like holding like a gift, they have a certain amount of abilities that they can develop and really work on that, and if they did, they would be able to either inspire people to become just like them, or these people can actually help you like one-on-one and stuff like that, make videos and stuff like that. But like it's just crazy to see like so much potential just
I know.
not used. And on another note, just a little to add a little tip here as to how do you develop your goals. I think it really matters. It's a good idea to really know yourself, to really discover like what are your talents and what is it that passionates you, and really develop your goals around that. Who you are as a person. Like for me, like I like to help people. I like to put out what I know and help other people and see them succeed.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe what is it for you that
Oh,
really,
totally. I get so much out of that.
so like when you develop your goals, like a lot of us really like to like when we're not used to making goals, like usually our goals are very self-centered. So it's usually like the goals
Me?
yeah, they revolve around like ourselves. So those goals are fine, but then like they're not as effective and as strong as to when you make those goals when they're like outside of you, when you're
They kind of have borders.
when you have like exactly. So when you start making your goals outside of yourself, like to help your family, to help the people that work in your company, to help people out there, when you have like a specific type of person out there that you want to help out, your goals just in a sense they mature. You have more mature goals rather than just like focusing on yourself, like I want to learn more of this, I want to become better at this, and just be me. Like I want to have this, I want to have that.
When I start making all these videos, especially jewelry videos, I've heard a bunch of people around me, why are you showing the secrets? Why are you sharing how you do things? I'm like, dude, it's not it's not a secret. It's I tapped into something was already there. People before me did it. People after me will tap into that way of doing that thing. I'm just like sharing what I found out that it works, and I believe that when you share your knowledge, people will appreciate. And people will resonate with you and with what you're sharing.
Yeah.
And sharing is important, but just don't waste your time when someone's not gonna take it and use it for something. There's no point over there. Like better go learn something, achieve something, do something with that time. If you see someone's ready to learn, you have to learn. So all these videos that we're making, someone had reached out for us. To us, and he asked if he could come and do internship, and we looked into his family and where he's coming from, and we said yes, and he's coming and getting so much out of it because it's all about giving too, not only taking.
Exactly.
We're willing to give if where we're giving it's going to be well received and it's important. So I mean, how you're saying what's going on, and like how do you see this? Like this is how it is, I think. So what other way you can explain this to, like, especially younger crowd? Because this is, I believe, this is like a learning behavior.
It is.
It's especially when you haven't learned from your families, your surrounding, your schools, all this kind of.
Being like really like self-centered and really like focusing on just taking value. Like that's something that I feel like it's something that well, it really depends on a lot of factors, I would say. Sometimes it's the environment, the people you surround yourself with, that really matters a lot. So I would surround myself with a bunch of people who would just like kind of care about themselves. So that eventually led to me just focusing on myself, like, oh, like nobody cares about me, and then like you have these like mindsets that nobody really cares about you. So what's the point? Like what's the point of me putting out value of like nobody gives a shit about me. Like if you have thoughts like that, But then you gotta reach this point where you love without expecting, where you put out value without expecting anything in return. You like you find fulfillment in giving out value out there to the world, because it's gonna come back. Maybe not immediately, but then, like I said, like that's a more mature goal.
Such a good goal.
The reason why it's a more of a mature goal is because once you reach maturity, you're not pursuing pleasure constantly. You're not pursuing instant gratification. So when you're giving out that value, you're not expecting it like right away. Like, oh, like I just gave you something. Like give me back. Like give me something back. I know
there's like so many people like that. I'm sure you listening to this, you gotta remember people are like that. I gave you this, so you owe me this. Like what? Wait a minute. What wasn't that unconditionally, or there's a condition here? Like what's going on?
Exactly.
You're like, wait, this is not a cool guy. Like I thought you were cool.
Exactly.
Crazy. Condition is not a cool thing. Don't put any condition. Do it unconditionally, because when you put that piece of you out there for someone to help them out, that in the universe that kind of belongs to you. But also that was piece of you that went to over there, and then when you have thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces out there, eventually those people will come, and they're gonna see you. You're gonna need something. It's gonna be there. You just like, it's just like you don't have the key to open it, but it's always there,
And if it doesn't, I mean, who cares?
Who cares? It's a mindset, and it's who you are, who you become. All right, so we're kind of put out there a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, a lot of different way what we're doing and how this is going for us. I hope you guys getting a bunch of really valuable information that you can implement in your lives, and whatever your targets are. So remember, this is Develop Your Mindset podcast, and we're talking about future goals and targets. So why future goals and targets are important, and how do you see this lastly, and why now? Because we believe that there's always now, and let's talk about this. Why now? You know.
Why now? Well, why now? Because I mean, I don't know for how long I'm gonna live. You know, that's why you gotta. That's why you gotta do it now. Because like that's really the urgency. Like, if you don't start your goals now, like I mean, you're not guaranteed to live tomorrow and who knows how many years. You know, you're not. You just don't know. You can't know. So it's something that you really have to do like now, and really start seeing the value in developing goals, not only for yourself, because you will develop yourself, you will become a better person through your goals as you start hitting your targets, but also for those people who you're going to help. Like we said, you know, these goals are for yourself, but they're also for those people who you're going to help. So, you know, think about them, you know, like think about their lives as well. Like, they're not going to be living around forever either. So if you want to help those people, like, you got to start now, because you don't know what could happen. So that's really like my reason to do it now.
Yeah, so you just reminded me of, I was having conversation yesterday with someone that we're talking about mental, you know, like situations people have sometimes. And, you know, so out of that, the conversation went and came out. So we talked about Van Gogh. He was in mental institution when he painted Starry Night. I thought it was Starry Night, whatever. Starry Night, and so Van Gogh at that time, he didn't say, "I'm sick, I have a problem, it happened to me because of this and that," and you know, just like making lots of excuses over the top of each other, and then telling everyone that story. Instead, he said, "I'm gonna paint something that everyone's gonna know my name way in the future, hundreds of years later," and that was his target. He actually painted that beautiful picture. Now, if I walk down street and tell anyone, "Do you know Van Gogh?" they say yes. They never say, "Who's Van Gogh? What do you mean? What Van Gogh?" You know, like so have huge targets, huge goals. Before you know, we run out of runway, like how I said earlier. Like you put it in a way that I'm not going to live forever. That's your runway. You run out of it, and we all go the same place that we all go, right? And don't make excuses. Make targets, and then do your best work all the time, every time, always. And don't expect anything in return. You know, like Van Gogh, I think after he passed away, his painting became famous. When he was alive, he never saw that happen for himself, right? Yeah. And so sometimes we don't know. It's about leaving legacy. So you have to do now, right now, whatever you're doing, so you can have that for you, leave a legacy behind, and just like build something for people coming after us, right? So we're at whatever point we are in, we have to play our part and then make that for next generations that coming after us, to make them easier, or give them something where they can look at it and then see the beauty in it, also see the hardship in it, also see what it took to achieve that, and then make sense of it, and then they're going to become better version of themselves at that time, wherever they are in. So that's why it's very important, develop your mindset. Future goals and targets are so important, but now is the time to start. We don't make excuses. We always do now, whatever it takes. Right? Do you have anything else to say? All right. So with that, thank you everyone, and please subscribe our channels, all the social media. Visit our website. We appreciate you guys. Do the likes. We appreciate it too. And we're here, we are a jewelry company, and then our talent and our expertise are in jewelry. If you guys are looking for anything, visit the website. We always make brand new ideas, new concepts. They're all end up in the website. Visit the website to see what's in there. kbrothersjewelers.com. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Develop your mindset.